Hi all. Today, this is the third presentation for the offshore structural design. Today topic is jacket on bottom analysis. Okay, why we want to do this jacket on bottom analysis means when the jacket is placed in the seabed, certain condition there will be a no fixity for the jacket. So we have to assess whether the jacket able to take the forces, that wave forces and moments and sliding whatever is there due to this unpinned condition of the jacket, whether it can able to take the jacket can able to take to withstand to withstand for its self weight. To assess that one, to assess that we have to do for jacket and bottom analysis. Let us we go into the detail. So based upon the jacket type of installation, we have to slightly change the on bottom stability parameters for how to take care of this horizontal installation and how to take care of the vertical installation. There will be some procedure will be there. So I'm showing the typical jacket horizontal installation. So due to the crane radius capacity, what they will do, no, they will install the jacket horizontally, means that they will not install the jacket horizontal, just they will place into the water. Once if you are placing the object, any object in the water, it gains the buoyancy. Once the buoyancy will come into play, your self weight getting reduced. By the time they will operate this crane, and then they will rotate and keep the jacket in place. This is the horizontal installation. And if you don't have any capacity, the capacity of the crane, if you don't have, by the time what they will go for launching. By the when they are launching the jacket, we need enough buoyancy for the jacket. So there will be some three criteria in that buoyancy. There is a positive buoyant, negative buoyant, and neutral buoyant. From that positive, negative, and neutral, you will come to know that negative means the buoyancy which will not be adequate to float the jacket. It will sink. Actually, it is the negative. Positive means you will have the enough buoyancy for the jacket. And then neutral buoyant means just whatever the buoyancy is required, just it will float. You will not have much reserve buoyancy. That is called the neutral buoyant. So if you don't have any buoyancy, for if suppose if you are having neutral buoyancy or negative buoyancy, such a way that you want some positive buoyant, what we have to do is we have to design a buoyancy tanks, and then we should attach this buoyancy tank to the jacket, so that when it is launching, so this buoyancy tank will help the jacket to float. Once the jacket is float, after that the derrick barge will come and they will engage the hook, and then after that again the same thing, like horizontal lifting and installation, it will be rotated, means that they will call it as appending. They will rotate the jacket and the place the jacket in place. This is these are called the buoyancy tank. This is the one method of placing the jacket on the sea floor. This is the launching sequence of the jacket. They will actually, what will they have? They will reduce the draft of the barge at the required rate, and then they will launch the jacket by having the rocker arm over in the barge. Okay, and this is the another view of the jacket launching. Okay, always they will launch the jacket from the top, in the sense the mud mat position always at the back actually, when it is sliding on the this one on the rock arm, because you will have less force on the first. Initially you will have less force. After that, once the continuation of the flow will be there, the load keep on moving on the COG, so the rock arm will help to launch the jacket. Actually, for that reason we have to keep like this. And this is the jacket launching sequence. See, the jacket is lowered here, draft is lowered here. After that, still if it is still lowering, and then after cutting the C fastening over here, the jacket will start rotate sliding. If you see here, the rocker arm will come into the place. And the rocker arm, what it will do, it will just lift the jacket, and then it will it will like throw the jacket into the sea floor. So it's completely, the operation is over. Now the jacket is floating over here. This is the jacket launching sequence. Once the jacket is launched, so before piling, the jacket will be like this in the sea floor. So this is the gangway to access the platform. During this condition, there won't be any pile at all. Simply the jacket will be standing on the sea floor. This is the unpiled jacket over here. You can see there will be a no pile. After cutting the pad eye, this one, after that only they will install the pile over here. Okay, so in order to, now we will come to the a little bit about the analysis, how to do in the software. You see, for structural modeling simulation, how we need to prepare the model for the analysis. So first what we have to do, no, all the top sides are removed. If any, suppose if you are taking from the in-place analysis, you have to remove the all top sides. The entire deck portion should be deleted, and piles inside jacket legs, we have to remove the pile. Whether it is grouted, you have to whether if it is grouted, what you have to do, no, you have to give only the, because in grouted we will give the combined property section, whereas in the ungrouted we will model leg and pile separately, which is connecting the wishbone. In that case, grouted means we have to reassign the property, only the leg thickness and the leg diameter all should be removed, including the wishbone also. Remove all the offshore install items on the jacket. Okay, if it is any offshore installation, you have to remove that one. Example, boat landing cannot be installed, always installed along with the jacket. So you have to remove the boat landing, and the conductors, vertical conductor, risers, J tube, caisson, and other items which is going to be offshore installed. And then you have to remove the corrosion allowance. You remember that when I am talking about the in-place analysis, you have to give the corrosion allowance for the in-place analysis. When it comes to pre-service analysis, you have to remove the corrosion allowance, because the corrosion will not take place immediately. Means that immediately in the sense, when it is launching, or when it when you are placing the jacket itself, it will not be corroded, because it is not a one-day process. It's a time dependent process. So you have to remove the corrosion allowance. In the sense, how to remove this one, you have to reassign the property of the original tubular and the thickness. That is called the remove the corrosion allowance, where you have to remove this one in the splashdown area. And then remove the marine growth. There will be a command will be there in the in-place file, from which elevation to what elevation we have to give the marine growth and the thickness. So this you have to remove, because as long as placing the jacket in the seabed, immediately it won't be marine growth. This is also time dependent process. So you have to remove the marine growth. And water depth changed as per the basis for on bottom analysis. Yes, because if you see each and every analysis, there will be a water depth change will be there. In place, there will be a maximum and minimum water depth based on the 100-year storm and 1-year storm. And for fatigue, there will be a again water depth will be changed. And again for this on bottom analysis, we from the meta ocean data, we are having the water depth for the on bottom condition. We have to take that on bottom condition, and the wave whatever we are using for this on bottom analysis also will be differ from the what we are using the in place analysis, because the water the environmental parameter what we are giving here for this on bottom analysis is a installation waves. So for that we have to use only the installation waves. If you see the installation waves, all wave height and wave period will be the same. Suppose most of the cases it will be 2 to 3 meter only the installation will take place in that range only, because the all installation will take place in the calm sea condition. So we have to check the our on bottom analysis for this insulation wave. So insulation wave period, and if any wind is there, everything data will be available in the meta ocean data. So you have to all override with the in place analysis file, whatever the wave parameter, wind parameter, you have to override with the on bottom data actually. And then modify in place overrides. So whatever the overrides you are given, you have to modify. So the whatever I told earlier, marine growth, corrosion allowance, all the things will come under the in place overrides. So these overrides you have to do. Okay, then delete wishbone element, because this visible element I have explained in the in place analysis video presentation. There you can see why we have to delete the wishbone, because the wishbone is mainly used to transfer the wave, the jacket wave from jacket to the pile, so that in on bottom condition there won't be any pile at all. So you have to remove the wishbone element here. So these are the points you have to take care during the model stimulation. Then flooding of jacket. So after doing all the things, now you have to make sure that what to flood. What is mean by flooding? Flooding in the sense, suppose this is nothing. Suppose you are having can, just you are having can, both sides are closed. Now you are try to immerse the can. What it will do, it try to float, but you don't want to float. What you have to do, you have to open the can in one side and allow some water inside, and after that close it. What it will do, now it will not float, it will try to stand, or it will sink off of that, off of that. Okay, same like that here. You need to make sure that whether your leg is closed or not. If you see here, suppose if you see here in this one, no, if you see the, okay, if you see here jacket, here it is, there is a rubber which is closed actually here, in that jacket leg. This closure, it is there foil actually. So here they are making this leg as non-flooded. This is not flooding. Suppose you don't have this rubber seal here, what happened, the water will enter into the leg also. Here this case is flooded. So you have to make sure that whether you are having flooded or non-flooded legs actually. So you have to do that one. So why we have to do flooding, why we should not do non-flooding? There will be a case will be there why we have to do for flooding, in the sense, suppose you are having good day, after analyzing the on bottom stability, you are having all parameter, everything is okay, but the thing is, you are having, due to the self weight of the jacket, you are having the failure of bearing. In that case, what you have to do, no, you have to reduce the weight of the jacket. How to reduce of the jacket? No need to remove this members and all, because already it is designed and fabricated. What you have to do, no, you have to allow the flooding, so that once if you are flooding the legs, you will lose the weight because of this buoyancy. So then what happened, you will not have any problem in bearing. Same thing you have to check for overturning and sliding also, and then you have to make decision whether you have to flooding or not actually. Then jacket legs need to be non-flood, needs to be non-flood during launch installation. Okay, during launch most of the cases this jacket legs will be non-flooding. Why? Because already you want flooding, because you want positive buoyant over there. Simply if you are flooding the legs, you will lose the buoyancy. So for that, you, in order to make the positive buoyancy, you have to do non flooding over there. Okay, so you have to do for non flooding for launch installation mostly. Then control flooding in jacket. What happened if suppose you are having serious problem in bearing? What it leads to, know, if you are not, if you are having the bearing problem, if you are made to resolve the bearing problem, you are going to end up with very huge mud mat. To control that one, just you have to assess the set down load. What load it will, the bearing, sliding and overturning will be okay for this jacket. You have to assess the minimum load. Minimum load, it should qualify the jacket for on bottom condition. For that there will be a control flooding is there. So what, there will be a compartment will be there in the jacket leg. What you have to just flood off of the jacket, and then you have to make settle down your jacket such a way that you can control your flooding. That is called control flooding. And then buoyancy tank flooding. Once the jacket is launched, now your jacket needs to rotate it actually. For that, what you have to know, there will be some valve will be attached to the buoyancy tank. They will flood actually. They will not fully flood. What will happen if you are fully flooding means you will end up with again bearing problem. So that will be the, so for overturning and sliding it may be good actually, but for bearing you will be end up with problem. So then you have to carefully know that how much you need to full, whether you need to full only 1/3 of the tank or only half of the tank or full of the tank. You have to assess, because this on bottom analysis is not straight away like lift or load out. You, this one you have to do just 2-3 trials before going for finalizing a model. So for concept itself you have to do many trials. You will have some bearing problem, you will have some sliding problem, and you will have some war turning failure problem. So if one problem bearing is okay, then you will end up with sliding. If sliding is okay, then you will end up with war turning. So sir, each and every problem you have to take separately, and you have to check for a bearing. If bearing is okay, you have to check for other two conditions whether it is satisfying or not. If all my cases moment is okay, then you have to check for this other two condition. If it is sliding is okay, then you have to satisfy all the condition, and then you have to finalize the all set down load, and what is the mud mat area, and what is the this one no installation condition. All the things you have to come up with end of analysis after some 2-3 trials. Okay. Now on bottom stability. So now what, how to do this on bottom stability and what I need to do. Okay, but on bottom stability, what the conclusion of on bottom stability is, you have to study the on bottom stability of the jacket. Means that you have to, the when the jacket is in unpiled condition, when the wave is coming, so you will have the overturning sliding. So for that, whether the jacket is withstanding or not, that is that is sliding and overturning. And also when my jacket is unpiled condition, if I putting the piles on the top of the jacket, the COG will get towards the where you are piled, that was the COG will get moved. During that condition, there will be a wave will be there, lateral force, and then there will be additional load on the top of the jacket in the pile, so that you will experience the, because of the COG shift, you will have the moment at the base. In that moment, you have to ensure that there will be a counter moment by the jacket due to that self weight of the jacket, whether it is resisting the, it is giving the resistance for the war turning moment or not. That we have to see the war turning. And then again during the lateral load, the jacket should not should not get moved up laterally. For that, you have to know the sliding. What you have to do, the sliding, the area of contact between the mud mat and the soil should be the mud mat and the soil should be have proper area in order to prevent the lateral sliding. So these three you have to check for on bottom stability. And then what we are going to concluded, the piling sequence. So suppose the four leg is there, suppose the grid is A1 A2 B1 B2, which pile I have to put for where I have to put, whether I have to put A1 or A2 B1 B2. So the first piling sequence, how to do that one, and my P1 P2 P1 P2 is nothing but pile 1 pile 2 like that. So whether I have to put the pile 1 first or pile 2 second, or which leg, all those things uh, will be concluded in the pile sequence in the on bottom analysis. Third, mud mat. Then what is my mud mat area is required, because the jacket which is having mud mat, this is mud mat is not part of the jacket. This, of course, this is a part of the jacket. The function of the mud mat is only for the on bottom stability. After that, the mud mat is not going to be participate anything for the in place analysis. The main aim of the mud mat is for to the bearing, and then sliding for this overturning. For this check for the on bottom stability only we are giving. So from the conclusion for this mud mat is how much area is required. For these three parameters we have to come up with the on bottom stability of the jacket. Okay. Okay, these things already I have explained. When the jacket is floated and appended from the horizontal floating position, it shall stand vertically on the seabed. The stability of the same shall be maintained until it is fixed on the seabed by piles. This temporary phase is called unpiled or on bottom stability. The jacket with pile segments and hammer should be able to stand without sliding, settling, and overturning due to external force. Already I explained this one, why we are doing this thing. Okay. Then factor of safety. So every time we have to check for the factor of safety. What is the factor of safety? These are the which is given in the, this is the photo shot of API RPTA 12.4.5. If you go in this section, you will find the factor of safety which is given here. Factor of safety against overturning, you should have at least 1.5, minimum 1.5. Here there is no 100-year wave and 1-year wave. This will be all installation wave, that's all. So overturning will be 1.5, and then sliding it should be 1.5, and static without environment. Without environment means only for the dead weight of the jacket, it should be 2. And bearing pressure, this will be with environmental load, with wave load, you should have the 1.5. This is the factor of safety. This much you should have the minimum factor of safety in order to qualify the on bottom stability. Okay. Then locating pile, as I told already, piling sequence you have to come up with this on bottom stability. Suppose you take this jacket, suppose this is the 1 2 3 4 leg is there. So in that 4 leg, where I have to place my first pile, that is my question. What we have to do now? See, first you have to plot the COG in plan. You know this grid dimension and plot the COG. Now you know that this COG is having very close to here, this one. So this leg which is having very close, and this leg is far away, and this leg is far away, and this leg is far away. So you have to place your pile opposite to that. The opposite means that you are having the very long lever arm. So this is the higher, means very lengthy lever arm. So you have to place your first pile here. What happen if you are placing your COG will be, X will be moved up and Y will be moved up. Ultimately this in resultant, this COG will move up here. Okay, instead of this one, if you are placing your pile over there, what will happen? Already your COG here, again you will have COG, it will go close. So during this lateral load of this wave, this will get overturned. In order to avoid this one, from this schematic you have to conclude with where to place the first pile. Okay, as I told. Then suppose now that is case 1. Now it is case 2, the pile P1 section. Now I found that okay, this is my COG, and this is my the lever arm will be very having higher length of from here, so that I am placing my P1 pile section over here. With this condition, you have to check all sliding, bearing, and overturning. Whether for this condition, whether it is okay, then you have to use for case 3. So always you have to put opposite the leg which is there in B1, you have to go for opposite leg only, because of to counteract the COG. Always you have to have the balanced COG. For that you have to put the diagonal pile. This is the P1. For this condition also you have to assess for again bearing, overturning, and sliding. Okay, and this is the case 4. Now I am going to install my P1 here. Again you have to check all the 3 cases here. Now this is the case 5. Now I have installed all my 5. Again you have to put P2. This is the second segment, and then you have to check the stability parameters, sliding, bearing, and overturning. Okay. Now what happened if you are putting each and every pile here, your bearing will going to be you are going to be high magnitude. For that you have to check always bearing, sliding and overturning. Okay, but however sliding will be effective only in the case 1, because with bare jacket, with the minimum vertical load, it will be very it will be means that conservative. After that, this and all will be very conservative. That only will be governing case. Actually, bare jacket case 1 is the for sliding, it will be the governing case. But here definitely sliding will be okay. It's no problem, no issue at all, because you are increasing the vertical load. Okay, so again you have to check for all three parameters here also, and this also you have to check this for case 6 and case 7 and case 8. So this will be the governing case for your this one, bearing. Here you will have more load, so that you have from this is the from this case only you have to come up with the bearing area. You will have bearing pressure for this condition, you will have more, so you have to size the mud mat area. This is the governing case. Okay, the file installation case. See, suppose case 1, case 2, 3, 4 up to I have taken this one for in my previous study. Suppose case 1 bare jacket, no pile installed, that you know that this will be governing for sliding. Okay, and this will be governing for bearing. And overturning moment you will have, that is depend on lever arm and then the pile which is having projecting top of the jacket. Okay, however you have to check all the cases for all three parameters. Here jacket P1 at row B1 and P1 row B1 and B2 and P1 and B1 and A2 plus pile P2 and row pile P2 at row B1, pile P1 at row B1 and a row A2, pile P2 at row B1 and B2. This is nothing but the grid. Which segment you have to place for that study, this is scale. This is the installation, this is the additional condition which we have checked actually. So what will happen is, so whatever the possible condition you have to check all. So tomorrow when there is a installation, if any chance happening is there, they cannot go for piling sequence on B1, whether they have to start with A1 only, since the COG is also very close, but still they want to drive the first pile there only, because due to any some condition constraints. What you have to do, no, we have to check whether it is workable or not. So you have to keep whether you have to workable or not, and you have to conclude it whether this is workable or not. And if it is not workable, straight away you have to tell these are my condition I have checked, and you should not install the pile. Whatever the cases I have followed, you have to consider only this one. Which is not considered cases, you should not consider like that. You have to put a note. See, the above tabulated cases have considered in line with the company requirements. These cases have been internally discussed and agreed with the offshore installation group, and these cases are sufficient for on bottom of the jacket. Refer to attached email for the offshore confirming the email attached. Okay, so now first time you can install the piles as per your wish, nothing problem. As per theoretically you can do these condition when you have to issue the document to the client. Before that, if you are EPC contractor, because EPC contract means you will have your own you will have the offshore team in your office itself, so you have to go and check with them, sir, this is I'm doing, whether you are comfortable or not, whether you are okay, like that you have to get concurrence. Then because they are only going to the final, means that they are going to work on the offshore, because in place and all they will not have any, it doesn't matter for them whatever the member we are putting, that doesn't matter for them, just they will go and install. So whatever the installation sequence we are giving, whether it is achievable, like that they will assess. If it is okay for that, then they will return a mail that okay, we can do. So that you have to get a concurrence. This one, this is the pile A, this is the pile I'm going to, whether you are okay or not, you have to get concurrence. So this will be clearing more things, because the hammer availability, and then this accessibility, everything will be sort out. In the 11th hour you should not have any problem. So in order to avoid that one, so you have to discuss with the your offshore group. Okay, Okay. Now the theoretically whatever I told here. So now we are going the gap input file here. So what is the happening here is row A1. This is the input file. What you have to run for the our on bottom analysis. For each and every case here, I have shown here 8 case. For 8 case you have to run. What happened? Sometimes you can model the entire file here, all 8 pile 1 2 3 4 5 7 8 pile here by making one joint, and 8 pile you can give separate group, that is nothing wrong in it. What you have to do now, how to do this cases in software, in the sense what you have to do now, case 1, see up to case 8 is there. If you see here, row A1 B1 A2 B2, so these are the piles actually. These are the joints A111 A0, these are the joints there here. If you see here 7.85 7.850 7.80, here it is everything is given 0, means that the physical modeling will be there on the model, but since there will be no density, so fine, so what you, this is the only 7.85 7.85, here only it is given row A1, so that this represent the P1 pile segment P1 in the row A1, which is having only the density here, so that only presence of P1 pile P1 is the resemblance of this parameter. Okay, this is this parameter. Okay, remaining all the physical model will be there, but there will be no density, so no load will be going to be act on the your structure. If you want row A1 and row B1, and again you have to put 7.85 here, all the way. Now you have the row A1 B1 pile here. Again here you have to go, so now row A2 pile will be there. Once if you are applying here density, there will be a presence of pile over there, and then weight will be calculated accordingly. All your force and moments will be calculated in the gap input file. Okay, in the output file. Then wave loading, you have to put your wave loading here. If you see here, wave loading, all direction here you have checked 4-meter wave, and 7.8 is the time period. So this will be the common for all under the all direction. Why? Because this is the installation waves. Okay, and this is the sliding. If you see, once after running the program, this combined input file will run in the your model file. This one, these two files you have to combine, and then you have to run the file. After running, you will get the output. From the output you will get the each and every wave direction, what is the fx, fy, fz, and mx, my, mz. You will get actually here all the parameter. If you see here, gravity load will be there 5.54228.82. this is the gravity load. If you see here, the case one, bare jacket, there will be no fx, y, because there is no wave load. I have called it here. Here wave load are called separately here, fx, fy, fz. Okay, there will be no FZ, there is a no vertical load. Each and every time what I will do, no, I will add this one, this FZ, I will take this FZ throughout this one, and then I will check with this FX, FY, FZ. Okay, FX, FY, FZ with this. If you have this FX, FY in your load also, there is nothing wrong in it. You can take it. This is only sum up actually. So here mx, my, mx, my is the moment, which is again you are taking from the analysis, and this is m0 is the war turning moment. This is the war turning moment. This is war turning moment of the structure, and this is the resultant hz. You have to take the resultant of this fx and fy. This is the resultant force is that. And restoring lever arm in the sense, for each and every load you have to find the COG, and you have to find the lever arm from the base to the COG. If suppose the lateral load is there, there will be some COG will be shift will be there. So from one end, how much the shift, that lever arm. So for each and every case it will be vary the lever arm. So that lever arm you have to put it here. Now restoring moment, you have to do the restoring moment. You have to calculate that this lever arm into this force, you will get the lever arm over here. Then finally the moment of, this is the factor of safety, this is a restoring moment by this the war turning moment. This by this will give the MR, restoring moment divided by the moment of war turning moment. This war turning moment will give the factor of safety over here. So this is the factor of, this is the moment over factor of safety. Okay, so this one already we saw, only the bare jacket we should have to, and all with all wave load we have to, we should have 1.5. Again 1.5 we are having 2, hence it is okay for the uh, overturning, for the overturning. Okay, now we have to check for sliding is CU, the coefficient it is given 4.0. C is nothing but undrained shear strength of the soil, and A is the area of the mud mat. This is the H. This H is the horizontal at failure. Okay, so now there is the two way. Now I have the horizontal load over here, the resultant load over here. If you check here, where is that? Okay, this is the resultant force I have. I have H and I have Cu. Now H by Cu is A. So now I know the area. So that much of area I have to give. So the same thing here. Cu is 4.00 and the area of the mud mat here. And this is the resistance. So this much of resistance I have. So my H, I can, for this provided area I can go for 5168. But uh, resultant force is very less here, because mud mat area what we are provided, which includes bearing also, uh, bearing and sliding also. Okay, the bearing, sliding and overturning, since always the sliding will not be having any issue, most of the problem you will not have any issue for the sliding. If you see the factor 10.75, but you record 1.5, you can ask the question whether it is 1.5, whether I have having 10.7, whether I can reduce my area of the mud mat. No, because what happened, you will end up with problem in bearing. So this mud mat, the finalization of mud mat, you have to confirm with all your checks actually. So the mud mat area is coming from the bearing. So that bearing is whatever the minimum area is required, that area we are putting here, and then we are checking. For that area itself, it is 10.75. You are having factor against 1.5. Most of the time, you will not have any sliding stability. Okay. Okay. Then overturning. Overturning, there I have explained the overturning, how we have to calculate all those things. So if you see here, overturning will be always problem. You will have only the marginal, this one, my area only. If you see here, against 2.09 only we are having. So now this is also okay for overturning. And okay, the bearing capacity, the allowable, how to calculate the bearing. Okay, the bearing is nothing but load by area is the stress. Suppose if you take the foundation, for any simple foundation, a rectangular footing, bearing is what we will have, how we will design the footing. Load divided by area, load divided by area will give the bearing stress. Suppose my bearing stress is 75 kilonewton per meter square. This is the stress is coming on footing, but my SBC is 150 kilonewton per meter square. What we will say, the allowable is 150, but actually is 75, hence it is okay. Whatever the area we are provided is okay. That way we will say actually. But suppose the same way, how to take the capacity means, here based upon the mud mat provided, we have to know that our mud mat is rectangular or square, or this is the triangular mud mat. So in that curve, this curve will be provided by the geotechnical. So from the width we can select the curve. This is for rectangular and square, and this is triangular. So you have to select which curve you want, whether it is triangular or rectangular. So you can go that curve by taking the B, and then you can again go to the horizontal. You will get the ultimate bearing capacity. This is nothing but same as SBC. So this SBC should be greater than what you are getting the stress from the analysis. So that's what the bearing capacity. Okay. And then bearing capacity calculation, how to get that one? Simply we told that load by area, the same thing only is here also. Load by area, load is the load what we are getting from the analysis, and area is the mud mat area. So mud mat area is one, so this is the capacity. Okay, this is 7 meter and 6.5 meter. If you see here, what is the 7 meter and 6.5 meter? If you go that this one, the 11660 and 999. Okay, if you go here, So this is the one which we are taken here, the ultimate bearing capacity for each and every mud mat. So this mud mat, so whatever the load for this reaction for this leg divided by this area, the reaction on this leg will have the bearing pressure on this mud mat and this mud mat, this mud mat. So you will have four bearing pressure. For that four bearing pressure, this is the allowable load. That load you have to check. That is the bearing calculation. Okay, then next mud mat design. So mud mat always they will not go for steel mud mat. Sometimes they will go for timber mud mat. Steel mud mat, you know that steel means like a steel design only. If span is there, then you have to design the plate. That's all. Same like this. This is the timber mud mat I have taken. The maximum pressure on the mud mat, you have to check whether this here, you have to take out of this 4 mud mat what is the maximum bearing pressure. So what is the area of mud mat, load on the reduced mud mat area, this is a mud mat area, and size, this is nothing but WL square by 8, that's all. WL square by 8, the allowable bending stress by actual bending stress, that's all, nothing great in it. This is the design of timber. The same thing you can replace with steel timber. Okay, steel, whether it is okay or not, that beam you have to check. Also the plate you have to check. That is for the part of the miscellaneous calculation. This you have to check in by hand calculation, not from the program. Okay, and these are the commonly mud mat shape which is available. This is for it's a square mud mat, and this is for the triangular mud mat. This is for the tripod jackets, and this is for the this one, no, rectangular jackets. Okay, why? Because why I'm not going here for even though these two shapes are same, here I'm not going for rectangular or square mud mat here because whatever the mud mat provided is okay for me. For that is the reason this is the minimum area is required for the mud mat. That is our aim, to find out the minimum area required for the minimum area required for the on bottom stability is this much. No need to provide this much. If it is really required, then we have to go for this one. Otherwise, because we can go for this one. Unnecessarily, if you are giving extra projection or okay, this is the square type of jacket, I want to give square mud mat, you should not do. Why? Because unnecessarily you are increasing the load. Once if it is increases the load, what will happen? Again, you have to search for the higher capacity of the barges. Higher capacity of the barges, which leads to cost. So this will be not the cost effective. For that reason, always you have to give whatever the optimum design you have to give. That is the reason. Even though this is this one, you have to give the triangular jacket. Okay, here you cannot give the this one rectangular, because the shape, no, you have to give more member on that. To avoid that one, there they are given triangular jacket, a triangular mud mat. Okay. Okay, these are the type. Not only they will use for steel only plates as a mud mat, some FRP material, timber also. They are, I think here they are used timber mud mat. Here they are used plate, and here this is a FRP mud mat. This is the types of mud mat. Okay. 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 General discussion, question and answer. If you have any question, please just post your question in the comment. I will try to answer your questions. Okay, thank you. And please forward this presentation to your colleagues and the freshers. They will get benefited. Okay, thank you.